everybody, welcome back. Stage 4 and out the door. I apologize again. For some reason, this is when I'm going to be making videos, apparently, is when I'm driving. That's apology number 1. Apology number 2 is I got my sunglasses on. It's December 12th. It is 8:37 a.m. and I'm driving to my Clearfield office, and the sun is just, just at the right height to beam right in my eyes, and I'm heading towards the sun. So I apologize about that too. You can see how cool I look at my shades. That's an 80s term, shades, right? So yes, it's December 12th. Christmas has just flown up to us. Geez, like, I swear yesterday it was spring. Definitely not spring anymore. It is a chilly 32 degrees here in Pennsylvania. So yay for the cold. What I wanted to talk about in this specific video, I'm going to post a few of them today. It's about an hour drive, so I get some time to talk about the things I want to talk to you guys about. One of the things I do want to talk about is LARS, L.A.R.S. It's the acronym for Lower Anterior Resection Syndrome. It's a big deal. I belong to several forums and groups on Facebook, and one of them is Living with LARS. It sucks, guys. So this video is going to be my experience with LARS and how I found I wouldn't say a cure, but boy, did it change my life. So let me tell you what LARS is. Lower Anterior Resection Syndrome. So pretty much as the name says, lower anterior resection is essentially when they resect a large part of your colon, rectum, the lower tract, which they did with me. Again, if you're only watching this video just to hear about my LARS experience, let me give you just a short background. If you want more, you can watch some of my other videos. However, diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer at the age of 45, went through radiation, chemo, and then my resection surgery, and then that left me with an ileostomy bag, and then I had the reversal surgery, and then another like 8 weeks of more chemo. Was actually, my first round of chemo was 1 chemo and radiation, and then my second round of chemo was like 2 chemos and some other stuff. So that was a very short version of what I went through, but that did leave me with a lot of complications and side effects, after effects, whatever you want to call it. One of them being LARS. So they removed a ginormous hunk of my colon in most of, not all, but most of my rectum. So that left me with some issues. My experience was, and I know everybody's different, especially on the forums, a lot of you folks are experiencing constant bathroom trips to where you're going all the time, and it's much more frequent. My experience was the reverse. I didn't go to the bathroom for 4, 5, 6 days. I think my longest stretch was 6 or 7 days, maybe 8. I think it was 7 days. So I wouldn't go to the bathroom for, that a week essentially, and then I would spend 2 or 3 days just nonstop, painful, bloating, discomfort, and then the whole time that I wasn't using the restroom, I clearly was uncomfortable, because you can't have that much poo-poo in you without feeling it, right? That went on for the better part of a year, and I went to my surgeon, and my surgeon, phenomenal guy, I really love him, really great surgeon, colorectal specialist. I called him, and I'm on the phone, and I called the office. I said, hey, I need to talk to Doc. So he calls me back, and this guy's really great. He takes his time to call me when I need him, and he's not getting paid for that, because I'm not going in the office, I'm not seeing him. So boy, that sun is really brutal today. But anyway, so he calls me, and I said, listen, I got to do something about these bathroom issues. Now, I have seen him up to this point several times prior to this 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 procedure that he did on me, but I had seen him several times, and I told him how sick I was. I was nauseous every day, felt like I was going to throw up. I would gag in the mornings. That's a separate issue that I'm going to do a separate video on. However, at the time I didn't know it was a separate issue, right? So I'm sick every day. I'm not going to the bathroom for 6, 7, 8 days, and then all of a sudden I'm just releasing, and it's this whole big thing. You can imagine how debilitating that is in your life. I couldn't go anywhere because I didn't know when it was going to happen. And to those of you that have had some of your rectum removed, you understand what I'm about to tell you. Like you don't have time. So if I felt like I had to go to the bathroom, I had seconds, not minutes, to get to a potty, because you don't have the physical ability to hold that stuff in. Most people are like, oh, I gotta poop, and then I'm just gonna wait till later, and you go later. For us with that have had colon cancer and had part of their colons and rectums removed, you don't have the physical ability. So when you have to poop, you're going, whether you are near a potty or not. So that's a debilitating thing, is to have to go that frequently, or not know when it's going to happen, because if you leave, if you're not within 10 feet of a potty, you're screwed. Let's just put it that way, okay? So anyway, I talked to my surgeon. He calls me up and he calls me Anthony. He says, Anthony, it's funny that you call with this. He said, I just got back from a conference that deals with L.A.R.S, and I want to have you come in and let's talk about this device. So I go into his office. We have an appointment. He tells me about this procedure. It implants it's called a sacral nerve stimulator. Now remember that, the sacral nerve stimulator. So essentially what it is, and this device had been used for some bladder issues a lot. It's used a lot for bladder issues, and they're just now starting to use it for, apparently, from what I understand, they're just now starting to use it for your colon and your rectum issues, so your number 2s. So essentially what this is, sacral nerve stimulator, they insert a very tiny wire into your spinal cord and into the sacral nerve. Okay, this procedure consisted of 2 surgeries. I don't think you would call them surgery, procedures. The first procedure or surgery, you're out cold, but they insert this very fine wire into your spinal cord, into the sacral nerve. They then leave that wire hang out of your back. Now that was a little bit uncomfortable, I will admit. I walked around for a week with a strap around my body. It was like a belt, and it had the stimulator in it, which was about the size of, it's the size of a pacemaker. I don't know if you know how big that is. It's not very big, a few inches by a few inches, and it's thin, but it went in this little pack, and the wire hung out on my back, and it was all bandaged up, because it did bleed, and it did have some discharge, and it went into the stimulator, and I waited a week. They did that because if the stimulator wasn't working, they were going to remove it. It's not 100% guaranteed that it's going to work. So wire hanging out your back, you carried it around for a week with the pack on your, strapped to your belly on a strap. Okay. After the week, procedure number 2 was inserting that stimulator inside my body. So during the first surgery, I'm not sure why they do this, but this is what they do. During the first surgery, they insert the wire and cut the pouch open. So they essentially cut maybe 2-3 inch at top slit into my butt cheek. It's in my right butt cheek, up high, like almost to your belt line, but a little bit lower than my belt line in my butt cheek. They cut that, and then he said they kind of scrape out a little place for the stimulator to go. So they hollow out a little pocket. That's a good word for it, pocket. So they hollow out this pocket, and then they let that heal for the week. That was, I'm going to tell you now, it's very uncomfortable. It's hard to sit. It's sore, very sore, but not a big deal. Listen, after all the stuff I've been through, this was a freaking butterfly, brushed up against me at this point. So they cut the pocket, Then on the second surgery, if everything goes well, they insert the device into that pocket, sew you up, and you go about your day. Here's what it did for me. This nerve stimulation, apparently, and this is my surgeon's exact words, were, we don't know why it works, but we know it works. They think that it improves the communication between your brain and your bowels, your lower GI tract, your rectum, your what's left of your colon or whatever's going on down there. It improves that communication, because whenever they go in there and they remove all that stuff, of course that's changing your anatomy, that's changing how your body's wired. Parts of the body that used to take care of things aren't there anymore. It makes perfect sense. However, they don't know, according to them, they don't know exactly why it works, but it does work. So for me, again, 6-7 days, no bowel movement, and then during that time, super uncomfortable, cramp, gas, all that stuff. Now that the stimulator's in there, I'm going every day. I'm not regular. I'm getting better. I've had the device in me since, I want to say it was, oh geez, guys, I should have looked this up before. I want to say I've had it at least 6 months now. 4, 5, 6 months. You know what? I will figure that out, and I'll put it in the description of this video below. However, I've had the device long enough to know that it's made a huge difference in my life. Massive difference in my life. It doesn't help with the urgency, because I still don't have a rectum. I still have to be semi-close to a bathroom. However, it does help with me knowing I don't have seconds anymore. Earlier in this video, I described it as having seconds, to get to a potty. I do not, I have a little bit more time. We're talking maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes tops, which is huge. And I feel like it's maybe getting better. So that's a huge difference in my life. I gotta tell you something. Being that close to a potty all the time doesn't bode well for work and traveling and doing things with your family, going to a mall, anything like that. So definitely has helped me with that. I am definitely going every day now. So let me tell you about, and I don't want this video to go too long. What am I up to? 12.5 minutes. I want to explain how the device works. So you have the wire in your nerve, or the wire in your sacral nerve, and you have the pack that's in your butt cheek. They give you 2 devices to go with that. So you get what looks like a phone. It doesn't make phone calls, but it looks exactly like a phone. I'm guessing it's some kind of device that doesn't have, calling capabilities, but it does have Bluetooth capabilities. They give you a phone, and they give you just it looks like the size of a phone, but it's just a brick. It has a power button, 1 light, and that's it. So your phone links to that device. That device links to the pack that's in your butt cheek. So inside that phone, there's several things you can do. There's different programs which I have not touched, and there is intensity within each one of those programs. So right now, I'm on 0.6 of whatever program. Program 1, I don't know. Like I said, I didn't mess with the programs. This is what they said it at in the hospital whenever I was in recovery. You'll get a rep that's kind of tied to you. If I need anything, I can call this rep. I haven't needed anything, so I haven't called. However, while you're in the hospital, she had the phone, and she had the device, thing over there, and she turned it up till I felt discomfort. And once I felt discomfort, she turned it down. What do I mean by discomfort? I'm going to be honest. Again, my videos are raw, guys. I'm just telling you how it is. I'm not sugarcoating it. You would think you would feel this in your back, right? Because it's going into that nerve in your lower spine, in your back. You do not feel anything there at all. You feel this, or I do. I shouldn't say you. Maybe other people are different. If you have a different experience with your stimulator, post up. Let me know what you think. I feel it. I don't know what else. I don't know how else to say this, guys. In my taint. Okay. That's where I feel it. and it's not a pain. It's just like you ever touch a 9-volt battery to your tongue when you were a kid? That's what it feels like. It feels like a little bit of a shock. Shock's not the right word. I'm having trouble articulating what it feels like. It's a feeling that you get. Once you get that feeling down there, she backs it off. And she said, you're going to feel this for several days, but your body will get used to it and you won't feel it anymore. And she's absolutely right. For about 3 or 4 days, I felt it. It felt not uncomfortable, but you knew it was there. It was a little bit of a sensation you knew that was there. After a few days, didn't even know. Right now, I couldn't even tell you if it's working. I mean, I don't feel any discomfort. I know it's working because I'm going to the bathroom every day, but I don't feel anything in there. It's a part of me now. I don't even notice it at all. 100%, gone. I don't notice the pack in my butt cheek. I don't feel that. You can feel it if you put your hand back there. You can feel there's something under your skin, and it is a tiny little bit raised up, but who cares, right? It works. It's relieving my symptoms. I haven't had to mess with the programming. I know that there's many different programs and there's different intensities. So maybe I'll call her someday and see if I can get it to. So essentially, right now, I go to the bathroom every morning. I have my cup of coffee. I go to the bathroom, which is awesome. And then several times throughout the day, I might get the urge and I have to go. It's usually, let's say, 3 or 4 times a day. Maybe there's a program that would help me just go in the mornings and then not go so much during the day. I don't know. I'm just happy it's working. I'm happy that my body is getting back to some kind of normalcy. Cancer takes a lot from you. And something as simple as, a little bit of regularity can really change your life. So, again, Sacral Nerve Stimulator. The brand I had implanted in me is from a company called Medtronix. Good experience so far. They say the battery lasts about 10 years, depending on the program you use and the intensity you have to have it set at. And I would assume after 10 years they would have to go in there and open it back up and either swap out the device or put a new battery in. I don't know how it works. But I'm not even a year into it, so that's not a concern at the moment. Check them out, Medtronix. Talk to your surgeons. See if this is something that would relieve your symptoms. I don't know that this would help you be more regular if you are constantly going. I don't know. That is, oh, look, an Amish buggy. I'm going to pass this Amish buggy, guys. Hold on 1 second. I don't know, what symptoms it can relieve, but I do know that it's definitely worked for me. Sorry, loud truck. I do know that it's definitely worked for me, and it's definitely worth an ask to your surgeon or your doctor or whoever's taking, whoever you're doctoring with about your symptoms. So check them out, Medtronix. If you have any questions, guys, I really posted this for you on the L.A.R.S forums and the L.A.R.S groups. I really did make this post for you. I do have, if you look at the Living with L.A.R.S Facebook group, I have a huge post, and it's real time. So it's the day of my surgery, a couple days after my surgery, and then my second surgery, how that went, and then a couple posts after that, just on updates on how I was doing. Please check that out. A lot of people have asked questions. There's like tons of questions in that on that post. I really made this video for you guys specifically, so check it out. Subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to get word out, just to help people. My whole intention is to connect people, to help people, tell you what I've gone through. Maybe you're going through the same thing. Maybe you have these symptoms and you have no idea how to correct them. I want to get this information to you. So subscribe, post up, ask me questions. If you have enough questions, I'll just make a whole nother video asking about, trying to answer your questions. If not, I will answer your questions in the post below. So please subscribe, ask, talk to me. I'm here for you. I want to get information to you. So help everybody else out. Subscribe, share. Let's get this community rolling. Stage 4 and out the door.